Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are well and welcome to one of our melanin-rich, should I call them workshop sessions? But yes, I'll call it that. So welcome. Thank you very much for being here very promptly. We are expecting a few more people, so I know it's going to get busier as we move along. But yes, I guess I'll start by introducing Melanin Rich, and then I'll move on to introduce our speaker. Melanin Rich is a community that was born out of a dream to support entrepreneurs who don't routinely see role models in the wider community, or perhaps are facing disadvantages or just struggling. And the whole thinking around it was that the way the press portrays the global south tends to always be with a bit of cynicism and a bit of negativity around our abilities, and how much we can do to actually grow. And what I and my co-founders observed was that actually a lot of us have absorbed that cynicism. We are the first to say, oh, well, we can't do it, we can't do that. And we look up to people from the West, as it were, as opposed to realizing that actually a lot of what we've done, a lot of what we're capable of is just as good, if not even better. Than what can be achieved. So it's really trying to combat that mindset. That's where Melanin Rich came from. And then, and as we thought about it, we thought, wouldn't it be helpful to have a community where we all support each other and we show each other what's achievable. And of course, we show the people coming up behind us as well. We become role models for the people coming up behind us, so that we can grow global businesses that scale, that's people see those brand names anywhere in the world and recognize them, whether or not they're from Africa or from anywhere. So how do we do this? We do various things. We've got a website that's got a directory. We run events like this. We have deep dive training workshops where we actually go into topics in a lot of detail. We introduce funding partners to organizations. We make connections for partnerships. We run mastermind sessions, which are about peer support, people supporting each other and being on each other's board. And we also support personal wellness. So, because at the end of the day, if you're not feeling great, you can't build your business. So those are the sorts of things we do. And of course, we help with market entry as well, because a big part of what we're about is about trading internationally, irrespective of where you are in the world. So if you are yet to join us, please do so. We will put the website address in the chat so that you can just go on there and join. If you have questions, then just reach out. And I think that's enough in terms of an introduction. I will go on to introduce you to our speaker today. Olanike Kolawole is a powerhouse when it comes to sales. She cut her teeth in the pharmaceutical sector before turning to finance. And Olanike believes that success is 80% attitude versus 20% aptitude. And once you add that to having personal connections, you have a winner on your hands. If you're anything like me, and I'm also a business owner, you'll know what it's like to go from feast to famine. You're too busy one month and then, nothing for the next 2 or 3 months. And it's up and down roller coaster, and it's impossible to plan, it's impossible to recruit, and it's very frustrating. So that's the reason we brought Olanike in to talk to all of us, because she's going to let us into the secret of developing a sales pipeline that you can rely on. So I hope you are all ready to take notes, and ask questions. And without further ado, I will let Olanike speak to you and teach us all about how to boost our revenue. You're on mute, Olanike. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. And I would say I'm really happy to be here once again. Really excited to be here. I mean, when I'm talking sales, I'm just excited about what I'm doing because I mean, to me, it's like what I love to do. The last time I was there, we were talking about selling skills. We were talking about, like Ola said, about attitude first, or is this skill important in sales? And we agreed that attitude first, because when you get the right attitude, you will learn the skills. And then we went further to talk about selling skills, the science of selling, and then the art of selling. And because the top salespeople, there's a particular way that they sell to get results. But most laymen will not know this. We went through that. But there wasn't enough time for us to actually talk to entrepreneurs. And there wasn't enough time for us to talk to people who are into service sales. Because I mean, when we talk about general selling skills, we're just talking about one-on-one with the client, kind of. But when we're talking about service sales, it takes a longer time. So, and that's the reason why we're putting this together. I will talk through different types of selling this time around, and then we'll talk about, we'll focus more about core complex service sales. I mean, when you're selling technology, it's not the same thing as just selling banking service. And even when you're selling banking service, the way you sell consumer banking is different from when you're talking about large corporate sales. So from there, we talk about entrepreneur. So good afternoon, everyone, and I believe we will have very good time together talking about selling through service, building trust, and boosting our revenue. Sorry, my system seems to be hanging, but I'll get over it. Let me escape. Wow, it's hanging. It's not moving. But you can see my screen?
We can see your screen, yes.
Okay. I don't know why I'll get over it. Just wait a bit. Uh, okay. Let me escape. Console. That was scrolling. Okay. Oh, okay. 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 It's okay now. All right. So don't worry. It's moving now. Don't worry. So what is selling? Selling is the art of persuading someone that your product or service offers more value than the price you're asking. Let's underline more value than the price you're asking for. So sometimes the reason why people might not be buying is because they can't see the value. It's a dynamic process of teaching, influencing, overcoming objections to transform prospects to loyal and then long-term customers. Because if customers don't buy repeatedly from us, we have not achieved enough results. So it's from repeated sales that we can actually be sure that we made success of our sales process. So why service really matters? We don't want all our sales to be transactional. If somebody buys from you once and doesn't come back, it's just a transactional sales is not enough. So why service matters? In today's market, buyers seek solutions, not your products. Solutions, 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 solutions. Service selling is about demonstrating value, building trust, and solving clients' problems, leading to predictable revenue streams and sustained growth. We're going to talk a lot about sustaining growth when we're talking to the entrepreneurs. I mean, a lot of things that hold them down, and why it's difficult for the business to grow. We will talk about it. Um, again. So, like I said, we talked through different types of selling. Transactional selling. In transactional selling is a short sales cycle, very quick, straightforward sales ID for B2C. B2C means business to customer. I mean, direct sales kind of revolve around specific products or service, e.g., you're selling insurance, real estate, phone packages. I mean, the salesman is selling directly to the customer. So the sales rep expects to close the sales flow quickly, and the focus is on immediate sales and short-term gains. Do you understand? Selling involves a skilled process of presenting, putting features and benefits. We've discussed that the last presentation. There's a process to sell that makes the sale go so smoothly. But we discussed it the last time, and I think there's a recording of that. It can be closed within a few interactions or even a single call. So that's just simple transactional sales. But proactive selling, that's challenger kind of sale, is characterized by assertive conversations. Sales rep is the one leading the conversation, asking several questions. Challenge prospect with assumptions and push back against objections. I mean, a lot of work is usually done here. I mean, these are handled by professional salespeople who are already trained on handling objections. The focus is to highlight flaws in the customer's current decision. I mean, you must be able to bring out the customer's needs through probing and present your product as essential to drive the change that they actually need, because sometimes the customer doesn't even know that they have a need. It's good for organizational needs, aims to drive change and guide transformation, requires sales reps who know how to take control, educate, potentially create tension, and close sales very well. So these are handled by professional salespeople. We will talk a lot about consultative and solution selling here because this is like selling service. And you know, selling service is a bit more difficult than selling real products. And when we're talking about selling service there, when we're talking about even solution selling, we're talking about selling sometimes high tech, very expensive products or a service that will take some time. So it involves building trust to understanding the customer needs. A lot of trust is needed here. Relies heavily on engaging and building trust with the customer. Highly engaging, highly engaging. Requires detailed understanding of what the customer needs and suggesting a tailored solution. Is suitable for high ticket products, like I said, that generate long-term revenue. I mean, most of the time, tech products fall into this category. The sales reps act as consultants in consultative selling, but when it comes to solution, they might not be, because it's somebody else who will be the expert, maybe an IT expert, who will put the solution together, having understood the customer's needs to actually do the real solution selling. So it might involve two people, the person that will consult and the person that will put the solution together. Relationship selling that focus on is a kind of relationship selling that focus on long-term customer loyalty and repeat business is important. It's usually B2B, business to business. Usually longer cycle, it takes time. Sometimes it can take a year, 6 months, 3 months, because sometimes likely to be expensive and a lot of detail will be involved. So the sales rep paints a picture of the impact that the solution will have and improve experience that the customer will enjoy, and needs to align solutions to prospects' needs without sounding transactional or too pushy. It also requires relationship selling, although most sales require relationship selling. We'll get into details of that. It focuses on strong and long-term customer connection, requires you to deliver continuous support to the customer, crucial to solution and consultative selling. Relationship selling is very important in solution and consultative selling. Customer satisfaction is key here. So excellent listening skills, very important. Just to understand the needs of the customer and to build trust is essential to industries that rely on loyalty and repeat business, such as large end retail, B2B services, complex solutions requiring ongoing support, and software, e.g., software products. A lot of relationship selling is required here. So we will talk about solution and consultative selling because we didn't talk about this the last time. And I think some people who are involved in tech sales will actually require this. I'll rush through quickly before I move to what an average entrepreneur needs to understand. Number one, there is need for deep understanding because if you don't understand, there's no way you can actually put solution together. So thoroughly comprehending the buyer's unique needs and challenges. ROI focus because I mean somebody is going to spend $200,000, $1 million must see return on investment. So highlighting the return on investment your solution provides is key, and then it requires a kind of co-creation. It's not really what you have to sell, but what the customer needs. So there might be sitting down to actually co-create what the customer really needs, collaborating with clients to develop tailored and mutually beneficial solutions. The approach shifts the conversation from price to the tangible value and outcome you will deliver. What are the motivation to this kind of B2B selling? Number one is increased revenue. The customer must be able to see what you are providing. Is it increasing revenue for him, or is it decreasing costs or reducing risk? It must be one or two or three of these all put together. So driving sales and expanding the market reach and creating new opportunities might be what your solution is likely to provide to increase revenue, or is going to reduce costs, improving efficiency, automating processes, reducing operational expenses and all that to reduce the cost to the client, or reduce risk, enhancing security, ensuring compliance, mitigating potential failures so that risk will be reduced for them to be sure that the business is run very well and effectively and efficiently well. So those are the core motivation for consultative or solution selling. So your role as a salesperson is to articulate how your solution directly addresses these critical business objectives, painting a clear picture of return on investment. So what are the challenges facing consultative or solution selling? Number one is building trust. It takes time to build the trust that can this is what this person saying actually going to address the issues I have. So you have to focus on building rapport by being genuinely interested in the customer's needs and share your insights and knowledge relevant to the industry. I mean, the customer must be sure that you really understand what you're saying and you have a good understanding of their industry. So a lot of sharing insight. This is what's going on. This is what has just happened. What do you think about this? All this build trust for the customer to trust and want to deal with the salesperson. Maintaining consistency and honesty in all interactions to build credibility and trust over a period of time. Maintaining consistency and honesty in every interaction, very key. Number two is that it takes time. It's not likely to be a sale that you conclude in one outing. Takes several visits and several calls. So long sales cycle because of depth of relationship building and complexity of the solution that you are offering. So patience is key, and you have to keep the stakeholders engaged by demonstrating ongoing benefits that they are likely to enjoy and remain committed throughout the long sales cycle. Number three is identifying needs. We've talked about this. Needs identification challenges due to customer being fully aware of their requirement. So develop advanced questioning skills. I mean, the pay salesperson doing this must be able to question very well to delve deeper into the need of the client and use more of open-ended questions so that the customer can respond freely and be able to talk. And from there, you can actually bring out what the problems are and the solution you are going to provide. So asking questions will help in crafting more tailored solution that genuinely addresses the client's needs from the sales perspective. So number four is dealing with price sensitivity. Usually we're talking about expensive service here. And so you have to focus on articulating the value and the return on investment. We discussed that of your solution rather than just the cost. Help clients understand how your product or service can save money and increase efficiency or drive revenue in the long term. Educate them about the cost of not solving their problem, which can often outweigh the price your product has. I mean, value must outweigh the price, is what we're talking about. Number five is handling objections. There will be a lot of objections. So we have to treat objections as opportunity to further understand and resolve their needs and concerns. Listen carefully and respond thoughtfully, providing additional information, reassurances that addresses specific doubts. Offer case studies. Yes, sometimes you have to offer case studies of similar uh, issues that you've been able to address in the past. We treated objections extensively in the last meeting. And throughout all this long period, you have to maintain the momentum, regularly update the client with any information in the market, and remind them of the impending benefits and solution. This is actually key because there must be something you are talking about throughout the weeks, throughout the months of engaging the customer. I mean, insights, new information. You can use project management tools to keep the tasks and follow-ups and milestones on track and visible to both the sales team and the client. Sometimes it might require doing that. Build customer relationship based on value, not just price. Increase sales and revenue by truly being of service to your clients. I'm saying it again, the singular most critical skill any entrepreneur can learn is sales. So let me pause here and see whether we will have questions before we move to talking about entrepreneur. Are there questions? Do we have people here who are into service sales? Do you want to raise your hands
Um,
and let's hear from people who are into core service sales that we just discussed before we're talking about selling through service for entrepreneurs.
um, I do have a question.
Okay,
Um,
thank you.
a lot of the time, there's so many decision makers. You know, I might know one person, but they've got to then consult within their organization and actually get the buy-in from other people within their organization. And they might not always open the door for me to be in those conversations. Do you have any advice to help, when it seems to be behind closed doors, as it were?
Okay, that means decision makers, you don't have access to decision makers. Is that
Not to
what you're
all
saying?
of them, maybe just one or two of them, but there's a much wider range of decision makers as well.
Okay, you even have one, then you are lucky. You know why I said so? Having only even one will actually give you idea of other key decision makers. And then, like I said in the other one, that there's the science to sales, there's psychology to sales too. There's some nuances of each of those decision makers that one person can actually give you an idea. Because you have an idea, I mean, you have an inroad to one decision makers, even sitting down with that person can actually give you an insight of what are the key needs. How do we go about addressing them? Who will even give you idea of other decision makers? How do we get those other decision makers to your side? Do you understand? So I think even getting one person in is almost as good as is likely to be easier in. Do you understand? And it could be like arranging meeting with each of them one-on-one before you have a general one. I mean, let me tell you, it's easier to have one-on-one with one than
Mm.
having to meet with five at a go. So that if it's possible to actually meet with one or two of them before you actually arrange for proper presentation to the whole of the team. And like I said about consultative and solution, the fact that the salesperson is the one going into the company to gather the needs might not be the one to provide the solution, because when it comes to tech products, you have to get the experts. So the salesperson gets the needs, goes back to the office, sits down with the expert. Experts will sit down, look at the solution, and then when it's time to make the presentation, they will be the one to be there to actually do the presentation, because I mean, having what we call a technical knowledge of the needs too is actually very important. And sometimes the salesperson might not be the one that has the technical expert too. So getting one leg in is a good one. Not even knowing anybody, but a smart salesperson will find a way of getting him or herself into the heart of at least one decision maker who will give more information about inward to get others before they make the general presentation to all decision makers. And then the real sales cycle really starts.
Okay.
Thank you. I don't know whether that actually answers your question or
Very
you
much.
want.
It helps. I think what I sort of understanding is that instead of just, talking to that one decision maker about what they understand their needs are, it's useful to actually use them to find out more about the other decision makers, find out what they
Yes.
believe they think the
Yes.
needs are. Yeah, so yeah, that's really
Yeah,
helpful. Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, giving an understanding that Mr. B is a techie person, is a tough one. You have to be well prepared. What are these areas that you have understanding of? This is his area of expertise, so you must prepare on this. Mr. C is like this. Do you understand? It's just a general nice person, though he has depth. I mean, such information is key to your presentation at the end of the day. Thank you, Ola. Is there any other person who is into core consultative or solution selling that has any question before we move to talk about entrepreneurs? Or everybody here, they are all entrepreneur? So I can move on. Okay.
I think Lola was going to speak, or maybe not. Sorry, go on. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody one has a question? Hello?
I see
Yes,
something in
my
the chat.
question
Yes.
is on the online sales. So if you have like a master class and you're
Where
trying to
to?
get it to, sorry?
Okay. Okay. We will talk on that as we're talking
No,
about
it's an
entrepreneur
online
sales.
course. So it's a service, it's a training.
Okay. I think Ola can answer that later.
Okay, not a problem. Thank
Ola
you.
will talk about that later. Okay, so we're moving to selling service for entrepreneur. Number one, no, we need to discuss is having a clear target market. It is important to know whom are we selling to, because when you understand who you are selling to, you need to sit down and even understand even the uniqueness of that target market. We discussed that in the last presentation. You need to understand the demographics, the way they behave, where they buy, how they think, and all that. So when you have an idea of who your client is clear, marketing becomes easier. So number one is define who your clear target market is. Number two is what problem are we solving? Clients don't buy services, they buy a solution to their problem. Ask yourself, what problem keeps my clients awake at night? How does my service remove that pain? When your service solves a painful problem, the pipeline builds itself through referrals. Honestly, if you have a solution you're selling, it will be easier for the pipeline to just be growing. Number three, It's building authority before you need clients. What I see most entrepreneurs doing is when sales become so dry, people will just now be running around. Meanwhile, you shouldn't just wait till the business run dry before you start now running around. What are you doing consistently? Like, for example, what are the insights you are sharing on LinkedIn? I mean, Melanin Rich site is forever busy. There are insights sharing every day. I mean, number two, speak at small events, gatherings, so that people can actually know what you do. Those are places where you build your sales pipeline. You host webinars, write short industry insights. I mean, because of that, you're building authority on your area of expertise. And authority creates trust, and trust attracts clients. There's some things I see on social media, and I'm like, wow, this person is an authority in this, and because of that I just want to follow them. I just want to ask questions. So when you build authority on what you do, the clients will follow. Number four is leveraging on existing network first. I mean, do people around you even know what you do? Tell people clearly what do you do, who you help, what results you deliver. Many businesses fail because their network doesn't even know what they do. So even instead of before you even go and sell outside, your network, your church member, your department people, your town people, your family members, your alumni group, your social network, do they really know what we do? I mean, we are in different WhatsApp group, and people have services, they're not even talking about it, and the business is going elsewhere. Number five, turn every client into a referral engine. A satisfied client is your best marketer. After delivering value, always ask who else in your network might benefit from the service. Always ask. And you see some of them delivering two, three, four, five. So, and this is low cost selling. And I trust clients because the customer who is happy will be the one to tell them that go and patronize this lawyer or this accountant or this event planner. So, and then number six is build strategic partnership even around the business. Instead of chasing clients alone, partner with other businesses. Like, for example, accountants and lawyers will always do a lot together. Event planner and caterer, they are five and six. Even event planner and those who are into music and MC, they're all partners. HR consultant and training firm, they're all partners. So have we explored even the partnerships that can actually help build the pipeline for sales? Number seven is building a consistent prospecting system. Client pipelines don't happen by chance. Set target. Reach out to five potential clients in a week is even small. I mean, for all my life, I was in sales. Pipeline deals is forever full. And so just checking through your pipeline, you know where to go every week, and you know the numbers in your pipeline that you should convert into customers. So follow up with past leads, old clients, people patronize. People don't even, some people don't even have database of those who have patronized them in the past so that they can go back to that old client list, and from there actually get referrals. Share valuable insights publicly. I think I've mentioned that. Consistently convert visibility into opportunity. The entrepreneur who never run out of clients are not necessarily the most talented. They are the ones who deliberately build system for visibility, relationship, and referrals. So if your prospect list is not long, you're not into business. That's what I tell people. If your new conversion every day, every week is not there, that business cannot grow. So we've talked about, I mean, getting the prospect, getting the clients. But most of the time for entrepreneur, a lot of things actually keep them so busy that they don't even have time to sell. What are they? We'll discuss that briefly now in 2 minutes. Number one, if your business cannot run without you doing everything, you don't own the business. So you just own a job. I don't know how I can explain this. If you have to do everything by yourself, so you are just like an employee like me. Do you understand? You don't own a business. But if your business can run without you, then you can say, yes, I have a business running. So you are just like an employee if you have to run everything. Number one thing is capture what you're already doing. That's how to build a process. If you don't build a process around the business, you will not have time to sell. You don't have time to even develop a pipeline, a sales pipeline, not talk of converting the pipelines to customers. So most entrepreneurs operate from memory, no process. Start by writing down the recurring tasks in the business, client onboarding, responding to inquiries, delivering the service, building and follow up. Once tasks are visible, you can begin to improve on them. If you do something more than 3 times, it should become a process. So build a process around the business. Number two is to standardize the workflow, create a step-by-step way of doing things, client inquiry, qualification call, sending proposal, writing an agreement, service delivery, payment, feedback. Standardize the workflow. When the workflow is clear, what becomes predictable, anyone can follow it, quality becomes very consistent. Number three is use templates and checklists. I mean, many entrepreneurs waste time creating things repeatedly. Meanwhile, just creating a checklist will make life easier. Create templates. You should have a standard template for proposal, standard emails, standard client onboarding document. These are the things customers need to go through before they're onboarded into our platform. Invoices, standardized, service reports, everything needs to be standardized so that you don't keep repeating things and writing and all that. This can save hours for you to actually sell to grow the business. Number four is automating what can be automated. Automate things like appointment scheduling, payment reminders, invoicing, email responses, customer follow-up, and all that. Number five is delegate repeated tasks. Any task that can be repeated should be delegated. So entrepreneurs become bottleneck of their own business. Ask yourself, is this task something only I can do or something someone else can also do with a clear process? So delegate administrative tasks, scheduling, data entry, routine communications, and all that. So your focus as the owner of the business should be to move strategic clients and growth. That's the essence of this meeting. Grow the client base for the business to actually grow and remove all bottleneck. Number six bottleneck is to review and improve the system. Processes should evolve as the business grows. Every few months, ask, where are we wasting time? Which steps frustrate clients? What can be simplified? Improvement keeps the business efficient and scalable. So post-sales relationship building, we build the customer base now. There must be regular check-ins on our customers. We need to provide insights and value. We need to gather feedback from these customers. We need to build referral network for the growth of the business. So in summary, what we're saying about growing the business is to craft a benefit-driven value proposition, create a clear statement highlighting the client's desired outcome, e.g., transform your skin with personalized treatment that boosts your confidence if you're into skin products or you run a spa. Number two is to build a client pipeline. I mean, we talk so much about pipeline because if you don't have the client pipeline, there's no way you can even have the clients and grow the business. So identify your niche, leverage referrals, use digital tools like LinkedIn, email, CRM. We talked about that the last time to find and nurture your prospects. Very, very key. If you are not using digital now, you are not on LinkedIn, IG, and all that. What are we then doing? Master active listening and consultative selling. Use LACE framework, listen, asking open-ended questions, clarifying your needs, explain tailored solutions. We discussed that the last time when we were talking about selling skills. So to effectively sell their service, somebody asked the question, online sales, create a website, build credibility within your industry, clearly communicate your offering, find solutions to clients' problems, review testimonials, and are also very key. Identify your target market. We discussed it. Qualify your leads. Conduct market research. Refine your pitch. Build credibility. Follow up on the sales process. 73% of small to mid-sized business owners are shifting to digital platform to sell their services. That's the real thing. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're not using the digital platform right now, the person is actually missing out because people actually own businesses now without owning a shop or anything, just one bedroom in their home. I mean, one thing I found that almost everybody's selling yogurt, selling salads, selling parfait, and all those things in Lagos, in Abuja. Nobody's renting a shop. Everything, they just get an online platform and they get the logistics guys who will be supplying. No, nobody wants to spend millions of naira getting a shop in a high bro area doing that. Everything, even those who are selling food, unless you insist you want to come and carry from where they produce it, there's no, I mean, no shop per se. And some of them are fully booked for Monday. I mean, I called one person for food on IG one day, said, Madam, we take our orders over the weekend. So unless you are booking against next week, I was shocked. And no shop. Somewhere in a 3-bedroom apartment, they just have a big place at the back where they do all the cooking. Online does the selling for them. They don't want to even add. They have more than enough. Even tailors. So key takeaways and next point, by adopting a service-oriented selling approach, you will, for tech services, sell technology product by highlighting their ROI, engage in co-creation with clients to develop unique solutions. In general, we build customer relationship based on value, not just price. Increase sales and revenue by truly being of service to our clients. So the single most critical skill any entrepreneur can learn is sales. That is a summary of our discussion. Thank you very much. I think I can take your questions now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nike. Great. Questions, please. I don't want to hug. I have a few, but please, I'd like to let other people ask first. Okay, while people are thinking about their questions, I think you mentioned that having a process is important because that's
Yeah.
what frees up time to
Yes.
actually be able to spend
Sell.
to
Yeah.
selling. Yeah. How about letting people, when you start delegating, what do you think about delegating sales? How do you create sales processes that you can delegate so you don't have to do all the selling yourself?
Okay. We talked about let me see whether I can. Okay. See this page?
Mm,
A lot of the sales process can actually be delegated to. We have a standard proposal, number one. We have a standard email that we send to clients.
okay.
We have a standard onboarding documents for us to bring the clients in. A lot of the sales process can actually also be delegated. I mean, for example, part of the sales process is online. People actually have very smart guys who manage their platform online.
Mm,
I mean, you get on IG, I'm just checking the shoes or I'm checking the necklace, I'm Pagam. I mean, some of those things are already automated, but there are people who are actually backing it up, who are already engaging you. What
exactly.
do you want? We have this. and they're even going to explain to you the payment process. Some of them, when you ask them question, where is your shop? I would like to say, sorry, we're an online. I mean, that's the sales process you've already dedicated. Do you understand? And then when you have your target market, there's what we call the prospect list. When you drop a prospect list, some people are just there to just take your prospect list. The name is there, the phone number is there, the email is there. So the standard email they are sending to those that would need to be sent email, those who need to be contacted on phone, they're chatting them or they're calling them. I mean, by the time your business gets to a level, the owner of the business is not going to be the one to be doing all that. Maybe initially when it's still small, you want to be the one to go out and see the clients. But just like I said, 75% of sales being done right now by entrepreneur is on digital platform. You, as the owner of the business, will not have to be the one doing all of that, especially when the business gets to a particular level. When it's just starting, I mean, the owner of the business is the one doing everything because doesn't have sometimes no finances to actually handle everything. But as the business grows, you're going to delegate. I mean, you have a standard proposal, standard email, standard text messages, standard way of replying people who actually get on your page on digital platform, standard responses and all that. So that's how to delegate. You can only handle the whole of the sales process when it's still a small business. As it grows, you have to get more people involved, but they have to be well trained, otherwise they will mess up the business.
Mm. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Anyone else would like to ask questions? If not, then one of the things that Nika has mentioned is obviously developing relationships is key. Developing networks is key. So very happy to use this time to learn about each other. So we have our,
Excellent.
oh, it looks like somebody has a question. I've got Fini Oladele. Is that Tunde?
Yeah, it's Tunde here.
Hi.
Good afternoon, Ola. How are you doing?
Very
Uh,
well, thank you.
thanks, Nick, for the presentation, for the information that you've shared. I'm into solution selling in the tech space.
Okay, good.
And, what I find is that, I mean, of course, in that space, the sales cycle is extremely long.
Yeah.
It is 12 to 18 months sometimes. And you're dealing with or you're competing against some of the top brands in the business.
Mm.
So the decision criteria is not the quality of your proposal, because you all can produce good proposals.
Mm.
The decision criteria is not the relationship, or is not how many times you call them. It's some other factors
Mm.
that you may not even be aware of. How do you identify what those unspoken decision criteria are, so that you can also play to the same factor?
Okay, if I might understand your question, what you're saying is that sometimes what determines whether they will buy from you might not be even the quality or da da da. There may be some insight that you need to know about the organization. Is that what you mean?
That could be, yeah, some insight that you need to know. There could be other factors that are not stated, that may come to play, and usually comes to play.
Okay, I would say that's why we said the psychology of sales is as important and the science of sales. Sometimes you must be able to actually get your I don't know how to use the word, um, some informants, kind of. And most of the time, those will be based on relationship you're able to build. Do you know sometimes it might actually be somebody not too senior that will give you an insight and say, this is how things are done here. Mr. So, 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 and so, 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 so is the beginning and the end of this. Even if purchasing department or admin department says, okay, by the time we get to so, 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 this is where this could actually just bust this. So if you're going to get in here, this is the person you should go to. Or um, other some small, small nuances that organization have that even sometimes you will be surprised. So I would say relationship building and understanding a little bit of some psychology of sales, which nobody will teach you in school. No selling skill will tell you. It is as situation presents itself that you think through what can I do in this situation. Do you understand?
Got it.
Relationship, but I would say relationship is key because you need some insights, which you can only get those insights through relationship you are able to build to actually get information. Information is key because I mean I know how serious it is for tech sales. I mean you're something people are buying for $200,000, $1 million. Is it so easy to get that to sell? Do you know about people who will quote? Even people like us who are not techie will say, how can we spend this kind of money? We're still looking for money for this, money for that. Can't we manage with this one we already have? Why must we go to this one and all that? I mean, some people like us who are a bit conservative. I'm speaking for myself now because I mean this kind of tech thing we discussed like 2 weeks ago in my own organization. I'm like, no, I'm not going to sit down here and allow you to spend that kind of money. People, somebody has to prove to me why this one should not be enough. Why are we progressing to this and all that? Do you understand? Because the kind of money involved is a lot to me for us to spend. Do you understand? So, meanwhile, a smart salesperson who just comes here once in a while to sing with my guys in IT, they would have said, that's the madam that is holding this thing down. Oh. So how do we go about this? Do you understand? And bottom line, I will say, with relationship, you'll be able to get insight to some information that is needed for you to overcome the challenges. I don't know if that answers the question, Mr. Oladele. Did I get the
Yes,
name
it
right?
does. I guess what you're saying is that as a salesperson, you need to identify a coach,
Yeah,
within any organization who can give
yeah,
you insights as to the decision
yeah,
framework within the organization.
yeah.
Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
As you were speaking there, something occurred to me that it can be quite demoralizing having, this protracted process. And giving up might be a big part of why some entrepreneurs struggle because they've been talking to people and they're not quite sure why it's not progressing.
Hmm.
Is there any advice you have around mindsets and remaining positive? Because people aren't always moving to our own agendas. They will move
Hmm.
when they're ready, but they're not
Hmm.
necessarily moving to our own agendas.
Hmm.
Any advice there?
Okay, I said, because for some sales cycles that take so long, it can be highly demoralizing.
Mm,
Um, but one thing I said is that you have as much as possible to keep the customer engaged
mm,
throughout. For tech products, even for some that are not tech, um, we have some customers that you develop relationship with, and if they are knowledge seekers, Any new thing coming up in the industry, you share with them. Do you know that this I just happened? You just share with them, and before you know it, they will respond to you. Where did you get this from? And then you tell them you've already engaged on discussion. It can be on a Saturday afternoon. Do you understand?
Mm.
And when the trust is there, people want to build trust that the person I'm dealing with actually understands this job, understands understand what we're talking about. So as you keep customer engaged through relationship building, sharing insights in the market, by the time you get close to them, you know what interests them.
Mm.
A client who might be influential to your getting the sale, but might not be a deep person, you don't waste your time with such. The ones who are interested in deep discussions, you do deep discussions with them. The ones who are not even interested in deep discussion might just be one Jai Mama who is very senior there, who understands whatever. And you just see her DP, she just attended the party. You just say, I'm loving your DP. It's part of keeping the customer engaged. Do you
Yeah.
understand? Or you see them on Instagram at one event, and I'm like, madam, I don't know that you too, you attend Owambe. I mean, there must be a way of keeping the customer engaged all through. I gave an example on my LinkedIn page of a difficult customer that I looked for 1 whole year. When during my days as a rep, she was #1 in Lagos for pharmaceutical sales distribution. I don't want to mention her name.
Mm.
She's very rich. If she gets to distribute your products, you have made it.
Mm.
I tried her and she said no. Why? She said sometimes some 5 years before then, before I even got out of university, that somebody annoyed her in my company. I don't want to mention the name of the company because some of the products we sell then were really hot.
Mm.
And I think she felt deprived and she was upset. And she said, even if it's your product is the only one available for everybody in the whole of Nigeria, I will not touch it. I
Mm.
thought it was a joke. So I carried my boss to her to talk to her. We're sorry about what happened in the past. Both of us have not been in this company then. She said, no, that's one she makes us up her mind in her life. She doesn't ever go back. Ah, okay. We tried everything. No. So what I usually would do, I'll park my car very near our shop so that when I'm entering Lagos Island, I pass through our shop and I'll say, good afternoon, ma. I just said I should say hello to you. If I don't see her when I'm leaving, I will see her. Good afternoon, ma. Then she called me one day. She said, I've never seen anybody as patient as you. What was I doing? I was keeping the customer engaged.
Mm.
I was engaging her, even though there's nothing to share with her. It wasn't even the days of digital like this that you can share anything and all that. No, but I will stop by and I say hello, ma, hello. I just said, Shenta, how's business today? How are you? How's everything? And I'll meet my other colleagues there that she's buying from competing companies. And I'll greet them. I will just, Buki Baoni, and all that. And I'll say, this woman is still not listening to me. He said, well, she said she has made up her mind. Well, I don't know. They're happy that she's not buying from me, of course, because we're selling competing products. But they're my friends. So
Mm.
I will gist with them in our shop and I'll carry my own bag and go. Since she said she will not deal with my own organization. But one day she said, you are such a patient person. And I think for your sake, I will deal with the organization. And the day she started buying from my organization, I became #1 sales
Mm.
person. Yes. My boss used to call me #1 till I left the place. I told you, if she sells for you, if she distributes for you, you have made it
Mm.
because she has a big pocket.
Mm.
So keeping the customer engaged throughout the sale process is key. At the end of the day, you are likely to become friends.
Mm.
One person will say, okay, this is the reason why they're not buying from you. This is what you need to do. Thank you. Although selling is tough, I must tell you.
Yeah. It's,
It's not an
thank
easy
you.
job.
Thank you. That really helps. Thank you. Okay. Do we have more questions? Okay, in which case I'd really like us to spend a few minutes just introducing each other so that we can grow our network. And who knows, if it's not me that you sell to, maybe it's somebody that I know that you will sell to. So what I'll do is I'm going to go around and ask you to just tell us your name, tell us your business, what your business does, and if there's any particular support that you need, just mention what that is. That would be great. So if I start with Nike, because I know you're talking to us about sales, but I'm sure there are other things that you'd like us to know about. So please go ahead.
Okay. Again, I'm Nike Kolaole. I work now for government. My organization is called Consumer Nigeria. We call ourselves Credit Corporation, and our business is to make credit accessible to every Nigerian. Right now, only 3.5% of Nigerians have access to credit through financial institutions. If you had family and friends, just about 5.5%. That's how bad things are. Our goal is to make sure 50% of Nigerians who are working have access to credit in the next 5 years. Ask me how. We have three goals. Number one is make capital available. We have funds from government that we give to financial institutions for on lending at lower rate. We are at high interest rate regime in Nigeria right now. For those who are in Nigeria on this call, MPR is 26.5. So imagine how much banks and general financial institutions are lending. And number two, okay, part of the capital too, to ensure that money is available to every Nigerian, there's a guarantee company set up by government, also owned by us and some others, is to work with financial institutions to look at their portfolio that the risk is too high, and we share the risk so that they can lend more, so that they will be excited about lending. So it's called NCGC, the Credit Guarantee Company of Nigeria. We are part of the owners too. Number two is to actually explain to Nigerians why there's nothing wrong in taking credit, cultural orientation. Nigerians have the fear, no, I don't want to owe. What we preach is responsible credit. Responsible credit in the fact that your income can pay so that you don't stress yourself. Unlike you and UK, you have access to mortgage. An average Nigerian doesn't have access to mortgage. An average Nigerian will have to look for money to buy a house, to buy land, to build by themselves. An average Nigerian will have to put down every dime to own a car. You have access to all that. So if you have an income, what is wrong in taking a mortgage? What is wrong in taking a car loan to make life easier for you? I mean, I would say some of us cannot boast of owning house in Nigeria if not for mortgage being available. Otherwise, you're going to go to inside Ikorodu, not even Ikorodu now, inside, or the Badon Road, or go to my village, kind of. But through access to credit, we're able to pay over a period of 10 years, 15 years. Abroad, you guys have up to 20 years, depending on the age. That is what we are preaching. If you want to buy a fridge or a cooker in your house and your cooker is bad, you don't have to wait for 10 months of saving, because by the time you even gather the money together, the price of that cooker could have gone up. Meanwhile, the interest that will be charged on the loan is small compared to the price so we preach that, and we're trying to educate Nigerians that there's nothing wrong with responsible credit. Number three is that we're working what we call credit infrastructure, because we find out that government alone cannot cover the gap. The big financial institutions in Nigeria are not lending to consumers because when they lend, the money doesn't come back, and there's nothing you can do about it. How many people will you take to court? And that's why they're not lending. So, but if the credit infrastructure is well put together, people the financial institutions will be more relaxed. How are we doing that? We're putting together algorithm for scoring for every Nigerian based on financial, non-financial data, so that there could be a score for every Nigerian. It's still going through the House of Assembly and then some processes with central bank. And by the time we come back with that, on everybody NIM, you will have your score, because every data for scoring will be used. Non-financial, financial, we call it alternative scoring. So credit should not be for only those who have taken credit before, but those who have not taken credit before, based on the way they spend even the 50,000, 100,000 they collect in a month, or what an average organizer puts in the bank account, the way they use it, we should be able to score them. The way they buy data and what they use, we should be able to score them. And everybody will, so with that, financial institution will have some kind of information to base their lending on, and will be able to unlock this huge gap. The gap is huge, it's into trillions. And consumer lending is a GDP multiplier.
Yes. Yeah,
So
exactly.
we're losing out as Nigerians. So that is what I do in Credit Corp. I've done sales in pharmaceuticals. I'm a pharmacist. After by 10 years, I moved into banking, and I've done like 20-something years in banking before joining government on this consumer lending. Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
How
Thank
about
you. Thank you. No, this is great. And more grease to your elbow. And I suspect that one of our listeners here might want to find out more, but I'll let them reach out to you when they're ready. The next person on my screen is Elizabeth. Elizabeth Adu, can you introduce yourself, please? Tell us what you do, and if there's anything you'd like from anybody in terms of support.
Okay, good afternoon. Good evening, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Adu. I'm also with Credit Corp, and I'm the executive assistant to the ED operations. Like my boss rightly said, Credit Corp, we make consumer credit available to the working Nigerians, and we have our thematic areas where we focus on in order to make all of this happen. We encourage automobile, that's one of our thematic area. Household essentials, energy. I want to talk about energy. We are actually talking about solar system, moving away from the norm. And also with automobile, we encourage people to move from the regular kind of vehicle to the ones that are powered by electric, so that it will reduce the cost. Because we all know that with everything that is going on in the world right now, you really don't know what to expect next in terms of the cost of fuel. So we try as much as possible to encourage people to diversify, to look away from the norm and then embrace the new innovation, which is the electric vehicle. And I can tell you for a fact that Credit Corp is a very, very responsible organization. We are not just saying do this, we're actually doing it, because most all our cars are electric powered, and then we're just showing people that okay, it's not that deep, it's not that difficult, it's not that hard, you can achieve this. So, and then one thing we've realized that a lot of people have this misconception about credit, just like my boss was trying to say. And then we are also doing what we call cultural reorientation, like just telling people, okay, you want to do this, credit is not completely bad. Sometimes when you talk to people about credit, they say, no, I don't want people to know I got my vehicle then through credit. I don't want them to know that I got my house through credit. But you look at developed nations, I mean, people do all of these things, and that is actually making life very easy for them. So we are talking to people to change their orientation, to educate them. Sometimes people are very resistant when they don't understand what a particular initiative is all about. So we are going out educating people, and also not just people, we're educating the banks, the commercial banks as well. That okay, we need you to help us to achieve this. We need your support so that we can reach out to the kind of number of people that we need to reach out to. So basically, that is what we do at Credit Corp, and then we'll be glad to have anybody hit us up to ask for a credit. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Thank you. Okay. Next on my screen is Mr. Oladele.
Thank you, Ola. Tunde Oladile is my name, and I'm actually privileged to have joined and participated in this session. I have learned quite a bit. So thank you to Mrs. Kolawole. So I work in information technology, and we provide IT solutions to financial institutions. And my company focuses on the emerging markets. I'm, currently leading the company, and we have our offices in Toronto, where I'm based, as well as in Nairobi, Kenya. I'm full-blooded Nigerian, so I'm, very well interested in what you do at Credit Corp, and I'll probably be reaching out to try and see, perhaps there are opportunities for, synergy and leveraging, some of the expertise that my company possesses and that we've delivered to businesses across the globe. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Great. Okay. And Shola Salako, my sister, you're next.
Oh, dear, I thought you would call me last. Good evening, everybody.
A lot
Can
of
you hear
people
me?
have dropped off. Sorry. You're not last, but a lot of people have dropped off.
Okay,
I
my
can
name
hear
is
you.
Shola Salako. My name is Shola Salako Ajulo. I'm a consumer protection, I don't know, I'm more than an advocate now. I'm now a specialist because I've traversed all the aspects of consumer protection from advocacy to policy to implementation. And also, we are just talking, I've been in government, I've worked in government for a while. I was in the Nigerian Consumer Protection and Competition and Consumer Protection Tribunal. I was the honorable member representing the southwest of Nigeria on that tribunal. My term just expired, and so I'm transiting now into how do you call it? Maybe business advocacy, supporting businesses on understanding how to institutionalize competition and consumer protection and competition into their processes so that they avoid the regulators and all the risks that they eventually end up with. I support small businesses, board. I'm also a board advisor to boards to help them understand that consumer protection is now a risk, is a business risk matter. It's not just about compliance. So that's basically what I'm transiting into. And I now have to sell my business or my idea. So sitting in and listening to Nika, who is my very good friend, but I never sit with her to ask her, how do you call it? Professionally, we're just friends. So just listening to her share all the experience that she's gained from sales, which I know and I'm aware of, it's been very beneficial for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shola. Thank you. Okay. Next on my screen is Ofela. If you're speaking, you're mute.
Oh,
Okay.
hi.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so hi, I'm Ofela from Nairobi, Kenya. I'm so happy for the engagement we've had. Thanks to our speaker. I really gained a lot and I'm working on applying it in the business that I have at the moment. That's all from me. Thank you so much for the event.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Okay. Okay, that's everybody on the screen at the moment. We had somebody pop up but has dropped off again. I think it depends on people's networks. we will put the recording of this really helpful special talk. We'll put the recording on the website. We will share with everybody that registered. We'll also share it on LinkedIn so that people who perhaps missed it can also watch the recording. If you haven't yet joined Melanin Rich, then please do. It's melanin-rich.biz. So please join. And we look forward to having another very informative and helpful session for entrepreneurs in the coming months. Thank you so much for being here, and a massive, massive big thank you again to Nick Kerr, because I have learned a great deal. I know everyone else has, and I'm looking forward to inviting you yet again very soon to speak to our members and to our audiences. So thank you so much, Nick Kerr. We are forever in your debt. We're really grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so, so much. Thank you. I'm really happy to be here. It's an opportunity, and I won't take it for granted. Thank you so much.
You're
Thank
very
you.
welcome.
And thanks for putting all this together all the time for people, not charging a dime, and passionate about people learning. Thank you. God bless you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, great. Well, have a joyful rest of your afternoon or evening, and we will all see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take
Thank you.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.